everyone, and welcome to my PowerPoint on pseudocoding. I'm sure you've done some kind of project by now and gotten halfway through before realizing that all that work you've done so far? Yeah, there was an easier way to do that. And none of what you've done is actually necessary for that project. I've also done this and kind of felt like this. Yeah, I've done this multiple times, even after learning about pseudocoding. Because who actually likes planning? Well, actually, planning is a very necessary step when creating anything. Whether it's building a house, making your dinner, or planning world domination. You need a blueprint that you can go back and reference when you feel like you're going around in circles like a headless chicken. And programming is no different, which is where pseudocoding comes in. Pseudocode, literally meaning false code, is not actual programming like you would see in most classes. It's not a language like C++, Python, Java, or anything else you may have been currently learning. Pseudocoding is something that helps programmers plan before committing their hours to hard work and questionable logic. It takes form sometimes like a thought web, and sometimes it's like those programmers' comments that your teachers keep begging you to write inside your code. Sometimes it's simple, and it's just a way to think about the behavior you want to see happen. For example, if you want to figure out how multiplication works, you could do it with a sentence structure, like you would find it in English. Take first number, add the first number to itself, the second number of times to equal the sum. Or you could do it with a more code-like structure. Start, first number, second number, first number plus the first number plus the first number, or however many times it takes to equal the second number, equals the sum, and end with end. Other times, it's a little bit more involved and a little bit more complicated. For example, on one of my assignments, they had me build a working libraries database, complete with a catalog, employees, students and customers, and a check-in or out system. The pseudocode ended up looking a little bit like this, though keep in mind that this is just a simplified form. It looks a lot like an SQL schema, doesn't it? It's got tables and data that goes inside of those tables. And it's got a whole bunch of lines that connect those tables with actions. Eventually, that code turned into something like this. See, this looks a lot more fleshed out, doesn't it? And yet it's still got all those things that were inside my pseudocode. Those tables turned into classes, and those lines into functions. Of course, to help even more, there would be comments inside that helped me lay it out a little bit better. Pseudocode helps especially when you don't have a great idea of where that data goes or what exactly is happening inside of those functions. It helps you write down your thought process and what you think should be done and in what order it's done in. Now that we've gone over what pseudocode is, we should also go over when to use it. In short, always, but especially right before doing any actual coding. If you've done that, great, but you might be in the middle of programming and get lost a bit, especially, shocker, because you didn't have a plan for this specific thing. Funnily enough, it hadn't come up in your planning. So take a moment and think through some of that pseudocode. Pseudocoding isn't just for those crazy organized planners type. It's also for the by the seat of their pants maverick type. You can pseudocode while in the function if you feel like you don't quite know what to do. Take a moment and pseudocode. So, to recap, pseudocoding, or false coding, is your mental blueprint, your sanity's savior, and a way to figure out your logic in your language before you actually have to translate that into whatever language you're programming in. Next time you feel overwhelmed or don't know what happens next, try pseudocoding. You'll thank yourself later. And that's all I have for today. If you like, leave a comment below and tell us about the last time you pseudocoded. If not, then go out and touch some grass.